Next, we're dealt 7 deuce in the small blind. We only have to get through one player to pick up 300 from each player at the table. This is a nice spot to be in. I raised to 400. The big blind, he's not a large guy, but he's terrific at defense. He calls, at least initially, to save everyone else who was dealt in from having to pay up. The flop comes ace king 7 with 2 diamonds. It's not particularly good for our actual hand, but it's good for our range since the big blind will never have top 2 or a set of aces or kings. Also, we have removal to a set of 7, so there's only one possible combo of that remaining. I bet 300. We should get a lot of auto folds from the big blind. He might have defended pre-flop with some sort of ace or king though. He calls. The turn is the jack of hearts, putting a second flush draw out there. A third Broadway card is generally going to be better for us as the pre-flop raiser. I keep the heat on with a bet of 900. If our double barrel doesn't work, I'm going to be concerned. The big blind isn't going anywhere. He calls. This is scary and I'm giving up. The river is the deuce of clubs, giving us a hidden 2 pair. We're right back in it, but I want to make sure that we get to showdown. I check. We'll give our opponent a chance to bluff at it with a missed draw. After winding up, he bets 2,500. In a blind versus blind hand, 2 pair is quite strong. I call. No bluff from the big blind. He flopped a monster with ace 7 offsuit. We tried our best, but it's another rough run out that causes us to lose several thousand more. The day isn't going how I envisioned it all. 7 deuce gets a chance to redeem itself. We pick it up under the gun +1 less than 10 minutes later. We need to get a win. I raised to 300. Most players are giving our early position raise the respect it doesn't deserve, but the big blind wants to play. He calls for 200 more. We're heads up in position. The flop comes queen 5-3 with 2 diamonds. We've got weak backdoor draws and that's it. The big blind checks. He'll break this frequently enough for us to take it down with a c-bet. I wager 300. The big blind grabs a combination of green and black chips. He calls and gives us some resistance with perhaps a small pair or draw of some sort. He doesn't necessarily have to have top pair or better. The turn is the king of spades. Again, it's typically better for us to have another Broadway card out there. The big blind checks. When we get a good turn, we're going to be double barreling to hopefully win an extra 4 figures. I bet 900. The opponent still isn't ready to concede. He calls. Maybe he has a queen or potentially a king somehow. The river is the 10 of diamonds. The front door flush draw gets there. The back door straight gets there. And now there's a third Broadway card on board. The big blind checks. Maybe he called us light on the flop and turn thinking that we had a draw. Those all got there. It'd be hard for him to call a third barrel without at least a king. If we bet again and it induces a fold, we get everything in the middle plus 2,100. I bluff with a bet of 1,800, which doesn't have to work that often for it to make us money. The big blind can't love seeing us fire all 3 streets. He should be able to part ways with nearly every 1 pair hand. Unfortunately, the big blind calls. We sheepishly turn over our 7 deuce. We've got complete air. The big blind gives us a very painful explanation for why he stuck around after the flop.
So, I misread my hand. I thought I had the king 3, and then I called the flop, and then I got the king, and then...
It's okay. The opponent has a hilarious miscue, thinking that he flopped a bottom pair with king 3, called our flop bet, then hits a king on the turn. Him misremembering and drilling the best card possible results in us having over a $6,000 swing in the wrong direction. We not only lose the pot, we miss out on $300 from each player at the table. Me and the 7 deuce game are no longer cool with each other. We're down about $20,000 when we pick up ace queen suited on the button. Everything we won in yesterday's 10-20 game has evaporated into thin air, and we're stuck an extra several thousand on top of that. A player in middle position raises to 300. I'm planning on flatting before we get an opportunity to hijack 3 bets to 1,100. I don't like any of our options. Generally, I'd play a 4-bet or fold strategy. I make an exception in this case and call, knowing that we'll at least be playing the rest of the hand in position. The big blind cold calls a 3-bet as well. The initial pre-flop raiser folds. We're going 3 ways to the flop. The dealer puts out king 10 deuce rainbow. We've got a gutter, 1 over, and a backdoor flush draw. The big blind checks. The hijack likes the king high flop. He bets 1,200. There are quite a few good cards for us that could come out on future streets. We need to stick around to see at least 1 more with our draw to the nuts. I call. The big blind may have something good as well. She calls. I'm going to play cautiously from here unless we drill the turn. The dealer puts out the 9 of hearts. We don't improve. The big blind checks. The hijack is concerned after he got called in 2 spots. He slows down and checks. I'm okay seeing a free river. I check back. The dealer puts out the jack of hearts. We smash the 6 cards straight. The big blind checks. The hijack checks. There's very little chance that either of them have a flush, especially with so many high hearts accounted for in the pre-flop action. I want to get max value out of someone holding a queen without an ace. I overbet 10,000. We did this as a bluff early when we had Jack 10 of clubs. We're doing it now for value. The big blind folds. The hijack takes one last gander at what he's holding. It's not good enough to look us up. He may have 3-bet light pre-flop. He folds. We win a nice multi-way pot. Finally, we get a good run out to help us improve. It's not even a pot with a ton of big blinds, but it's a significant amount of money in real life that allows us to make our deficit more manageable. Here we're dealt 2 10s in the cutoff. We've gotten very few premium pocket pairs today. Other than this, we've only had the jiggities. I raised to 300. We battled with the opponent a couple doors down multiple times already this session. She 3-bets from the small blind to 1500. Berkey's in the big blind. He needs to get revenge from the set over set hand that he lost to the 3-better. He cold calls, which is surprising. Both of those players are deep with the history. The amounts they're playing for pre-flop are tiny relative to their stack depths. They're kind of playing their own game with me on the side. I call for 1200 more. 3 of us are seeing the flop. It comes 8-7 deuce rainbow. The small blind isn't a fan of it. After playing aggressively pre-flop, she checks. I'm content that we've got an overpair, at least until Berkey bets 2500. What's he gonna have that he's cold calling a 3-bet with, then betting flop into multiple opponents? We have removal to straight draws, we can beat 9s, but we lose to pocket 8s and pocket 7s, which are plausible hands for Berkey to have. There's some chance he has jacks or 8-7 as well. We're obviously not folding though. I call. I don't want the small blind to call or check raise. She folds. It's down to heads up. The turn is the 3 of diamonds. It's a total blank. We still have an overpair. You'd think Berkey would be concerned that we could have a set since we could easily have pocket 8s, 7s, or deuces that we play this way. We can also have 8-7 suited and overpairs like the one that we've got. Berkey doesn't give a shit. He fires for 6,000. We only have 18,500 in our stack. If we call, we'll have less than a pot-sized bet remaining. I don't know how we can fold, but I don't like any option all that much. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself thinking about different scenarios on the river if we proceed. I'm going to make the best decision I can on this street and go from there.
Because in Nevada, the roulette.
Wow. I say call. Berkey mishears it, thinking I said all in, and he snap calls our imaginary shove before asking if we want to run it twice.
I said call. What's gonna happen with that guy?
Oh shit.
Well, it's terrifying that Berkey has a hand so strong, he's willing to snap call an all in. He has to have a monster of some sort, which shrivels our pocket 10s. The river is the 3 of hearts, it doesn't change much. Berkey shoves for 12,500 effective. He has us covered by about 20 times. I'm trying to think of any way that I can win. I now beat 8-7 and I can beat missed draws, but what am I thinking, even considering calling? I have a moment of clarity, reverting back to Berkey wanting to snap call or rip on the turn, and I realize there's almost no chance that we have the best hand. If I hadn't seen Berkey so eager to get all the chips in previously, I'd almost for sure call, but luckily, we got some extra information that might have saved us 5 figures.
I mean, I gotta fold.
You win.
I'm so confident we're beat that we fold face up. Berkey shows for the vlog that he has 10-9 of diamonds, which is nothing. He flopped an open-ended straight draw, turned a flush draw, and bricked it all. His fake snap call on the turn completely messes with my brain, turning a hand I likely would have called a shove with on the river into a fold. It's incredibly annoying that what happened on the previous street with Berkey incorrectly hearing what I said influences my decision so much and potentially keeps me from doubling up. I played with Matt several times now, and in no way do I think he was intentionally trying to angle me, but the result of his genuine mistake is a huge blow. I'm stuck almost $30,000 rather than being up about $5,000.